welcome to Sandown Motor Raceway tonight for the Roadster Rumble round number 5, and it is the second night of their Enduro Championship tonight, so should be pretty exciting. Last week was fantastic. This week set to do it all again, and qualifying just finishing up now. It is a 90-minute Enduro race around this Sandown circuit. Two drivers per team, of course, getting set to do battle. Qualifying driver doesn't necessarily have to start the car. Jared Philsell has put it on top of the times at this point in qualifying with 3 minutes to go. Let me take you down to the racetrack as we look at the flyover here. Microsoft Flight Simulator. Let's have a quick look down and see who's out on the track. Tim Rouse is out there at the moment, 17th place. A lot of drivers back in the pit lane. So Philsell, Rosella and Murphy at top 3. Harrison, Patterson and Oliver then your top 6. With the Lobs, Falcon, SpongeBob Racing Team once again on top. Doing a good job. Liam Caplice out there has not set a lap time yet, and he's currently down in 30th position. So 30 teams getting themselves set for tonight's action. So it's going to be a big grid here at Sandown. Hopefully you're set for it as well. Keith Logan says, I've buggered up my team again. Anyway, Scott Baker and myself running solo again tonight. There you go, solo race for Keith. And thanks, Keith. 45-week streak, man. And Ray Ellis as well. Thank you for your massive amount of support, you two. Absolute legends as we head over YouTube. We've got no comments there yet, but hello to all our YouTubers and all the guys watching on Twitch as well. Let's give it a noise from these Mazda MX-5s. It is the Roadster Rumble thanks to Simworx Race Simulators here on a Monday night Race Stars TV. And like I say, from around the globe, welcome, and let's get ready to rumble. Track conditions for tonight's race: 23 degrees ambient, 28 down on the track. It's a clear sky here, 9:03 a.m. in the morning down in Victoria. As the time clicks on through, we've got about 90 seconds left as we see Jesse just coming back to the pit lane. We'll get rid of the music, and like I said, not a lot of drivers out there. As I said, there's like 2 drivers left. Everyone's done their 2 laps. They're allocated 10 minutes to do 2 laps. Everyone has done that. So Phil's still on top with a 1 minute 20.425. Tim Rouse, the only driver out there on the racetrack, 17th place. And looking at the sector times, not sure there's any big improvement on the way here on this lap in particular. So jump in, get involved tonight. Go No Stress Racing, says Graham. And Keith Logan says, got the Kermit Spew green car. Very good. Scotty Nolan's in the house, says, hey Luco, Rosella, Hobson and Shreya. Nice to have you here, Scott. Like I said, 1 car left out on the racetrack, and in 30 seconds time we'll go down to the grid for this 90-minute race. Beyond Blue, sponsor on the side of this car. It's fantastic, these guys raising awareness for Beyond Blue. How's everyone's day been? Getting back into a working week. I've started a new job myself. My day job has gone from being long to longer. So 12 hours in the office today. I tell you what, I'm feeling it tonight, so you guys are going to have to help me push through the broadcast. We've got a big week of broadcasting here every night once again, right through to Thursday, and then obviously a delay on Friday night's broadcast is on the way till Sunday. No rest for the wicked. We've gone through 10 minutes of qualifying. We are done. Let's head down and get ready to pick up the grid for race number 1 tonight, or the only race tonight, the Enduro Series here for the Roadster Rumble. Here is the qualifying results. We'll have a quick look at those before we go through the grid and look at the top 3. It is Lobs, Falcon, SpongeBob Racing ahead of Wooden Hick Transport, or Wagon Hick, I think it is, Transport, High Kitchen, the Simworx P3. Let's go through the grid and the starting order for the drivers that will start in the car. It's Jared Philsell who will start from pole position alongside Luke Rosella. Murphy will start from P3 with Harrison alongside him on the second row. Then it's Patterson and Oliver, top 6. Hobson will start from 7th tonight with Ashley Norman in 8th. Hassler and Losh rounding out the top 10. Jack Boy starts from 11th tonight with Simon Joel Smith next to him, position 12 on the grid. 13th will be tonight Wood, with Wood next to him. A couple of Woods in 13th and 14th. That's Svensson, Baker, Rouse down there in 17th, Stassi in 18th, and then it's Caplice and Keith Logan rounding out your top 20. Then we go to the Group B cars. Moroz down there in 21st, Waikariti down in 22nd with Wooten and Foster, your top 24. 25th on the grid is the Thorn car with Walker, Linus and Whiteman behind them. Then it's Harrison and Nankaro to round out the 30 cars on the grid for the race tonight here. And And they do start from way down around the corner here at Sandown. It is a standing start tonight by the looks of things, which is fantastic. Let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to race. And who do you think is going to come out the other side on top? Well, we'll know soon enough. So we're just waiting now. We'll get rid of the music. We'll crank up the sound for these MX-5s. They will rip away from the grid shortly. Jared Philsell has arrived now on the scene. We're just waiting on Luke Rosella and Liam Caplice, who have now just popped in, and they're ready to race. So there's a long shot showing the grid getting set to go. We wait for the green. The revs rise here at Sandown, and for a 90-minute endurance race, we're off and racing. There's 2 drivers per team tonight. Good start from about the 4th row back. Ashley Norman it was, jumping ahead of the flashing Lee Harrison. He's at it again. But Philsell got the perfect getaway through the left-hander, will lead by a car length over Rosella. And let's hope they so I was about to say, let's hope they all know that it's a 90-minute race and we don't have a big crash at the front of this race. Was that, one of the green and yellow car couldn't get out of the way of the spinning. I think it was Keith Logan. Keith Logan, unfortunately, that copped that big incident at the start of the race. And it's got plenty of damage on the front of that Mazda MX-5 as we go to the lead pack. Heading down the back straight for the first time. Philsell leads by 0.3 of a second. They're jostling down the order. You can see Jack Boyd drop 3 positions. That's not a regular start for Jack Boyd. Lucas Stassi made up 3 positions. These guys are really fighting each other. Simon Joel Smith now wheel to wheel as well with Nick Wood, who's in there. Look at the sideways action for Glenn Wood in front. Had the tail wagging that Simworx MX-5. Once again, he's wagging the tail. So cold tyres on this opening lap, needs to make sure he just keeps it under control. We've got Go Hobbo and Pickles as well from Hans Brunswick. 111 on Twitch, hello. Philsell out in control and leading, although Rosella's about to make a move on him. Rosella very, very close as they head down the pit straight. Here comes Lee Harrison and Lachlan Murphy as well in the draft, getting a look in and a push. They're switching up positions here. Philsell goes right across the racetrack to the right-hand side to sweep into the first left-hander, and off the racetrack and a little bit more is Philsell, and he hangs on to the lead though, just as Hassler up 1 position. Glenn Wood's now up 4 positions. Nick Wood right behind him up 2 positions. We look back further to Scott Baker's up 2. And Liam Caplice has made a good start as Simon Joel Smith into the barrier. He's made a bit of a meal of that one. And the marshals down there don't seem too interested, but he's reversing onto the racing line. He should try and flick spin that, probably is what he's going to have to do. He's just trying to reverse into a gap so he can then clobber the fence before he then fires it down the back straight. So I think the photographer got a good shot of that one. He's just checking it now. Yeah, he definitely got a good shot of that one. Philsell leads. Half a second already, starting to pull away a little bit as we look back over Rosella. Pulled a tenth out of him on the previous lap 1 of the race from standing start. Listen to the downshift there. They give it a bit of stick on the downshift. We look back at Patterson now, chasing down Lee Harrison, and Hobson's made up 1 position as well. Look at them trying to break the toe in front. Philsell all over the racetrack, like we're driving Formula Fords. Photographer looking very enthusiastic. He is looking very enthusiastic tonight. We love the marshals here at Sandown. And looks like Philsell's already catching the lap car, one of the Group B cars. I remember last week someone said, you didn't show any Group Bs. Well, we're going to show some Group B battles. I promise you tonight, if we get some out there, Linus at the moment having a battle with Jamie Walker. This is down in 22nd place in the Group B category. Group B obviously has the grey stripe next to their name tonight. Group A has the blue. So Jamie Walker in the car at the moment, settling in, trying to catch up to Darren Linus, who's running 22nd. Leading the Group B at the moment is Mark Foster. And he's currently 16th outright ahead of Brad Wooten and Jess White-Carriage. So the top 3 there in that class, 16th, 17th and 18th. On board now with Mark Foster, the high ping racing car. Brushes his way down the back straight. I love the way they S their way and slide their way through these S's. Look at that, over the curb, looking very good. Nice run there from Wooten as well, closed up a little bit of the margin under brakes in this Group B battle, sharing the love. Glenn Wood, who started so well, is off the racetrack with damage and a big mark on the side of that car too. He's in a bit of trouble and drops outside the top 24 now, so that's not where he wants to be this early in a 1.5 hour race. Philsell leads gap at the moment, 0.4 of a second. Hello Spike, and a shout out to Jazz too. Hello Jazz. Hope you're doing well on a Monday night. How good was the F1 last night? I watched the mini, what do they call it? KO Mini. That's all I had time to do today is watch the KO Mini, but pretty exciting. Pretty exciting F1 racing, that's for sure. As Jared Vilsell, and he's been so quick in the Pro Series. Here he is tonight in a completely different car to drive than the V8 supercar, this little Mazda MX-5, and he's throwing it round like a ragdoll at the moment, and he's still being able to hold this 0.5 of a second lead from Rosella and Murphy. Lee Harrison, who's still running the 56k modem that he had last week. By the looks of it, is that a car to the pit lane? No, it wasn't. It was Rosella getting sideways off the final corner. Let's jump on board with Rosella as he tries to close the margin down. You get a little bit of advantage down the straightaway. That's why Vilsell starts to move around, just trying to break the toe down through turn 1. 0.3 of a second between the leader, and then also 0.3 of a second back to P3. As they slowly fish their way, and they're starting to just, oh, look at Vilsell. That was mega. Jared Vilsell wagging the tail. Incredible. Spike Goddard, never embarrassing. Absolute legend. As we see Vilsell after that big tail wag under immense pressure now, getting a push down the back straightaway, and Rosella, I think, is about to make his move. In fact, it's Murphy who's on the outside now in the iKitchen Simworx racing car, and he goes around the outside. He slots into second. Vilsell bumping over the curbs, hangs on at the moment, but I reckon he's pretty lucky to have done so. Let's see if we can pick up that slide quickly on an action replay. Here it is. So just watch Jared Vilsell. Watch this. Check that out. The big old fishtail. We'll watch that again from a different angle because that is one that's worth watching. Here it is. So see if we can get a nice close-up of this and slow it down. Jared Vilsell in control, gets right up on the curb, and then the big old tank slap. Out she goes. That is car control, folks. And he brings it back into shape nicely, and then still gets the apex, almost gets the apex onto the back straight, then he wags the tail again. That's why we love MX-5 racing. How cool is that? Back live though, still leading out in front. Let's go have Crick. Look further down as Lachlan Murphy just sneaks into the lead now, so we've got to change at the front out to the barrier. Murphy was close to giving it a little bit of a clip there, but he got away with it. Rosella still in third, then it's Harrison, Patterson and Hobson still P6. We've got a huge train of cars now. Let's have a look from the chopper cam. There it is, the top 7 or so cars, in fact probably the top 10 now within 2.5 seconds. And check out the battle at the front here into the braking zone of the back straight. Vilsell back into the lead. He's, I tell you what, he carries some speed down that back straightaway, doesn't he? Will anyone be saving fuel tonight, or will they just be full blast until the first pit stop? Once again, they'll have to do 2 driver changes tonight, so this race leader, Jared Vilsell, will need to jump out of the car at some point tonight. And Brad Newman will jump in. Rosella, who's in P3 at the moment, sharing the drive obviously with Thomas McMillan, new to this series, so those drivers will do a switch around as well when they're out of fuel and they need to come in and get some new tyres as well. Back in Group B, it's still Wooten leading, and he's pulled out a margin of just 1.6 seconds now. Moz Moroz running behind Mark Foster, just starting to close that margin. This is the closest battle we've got in Group B, and it is for P2 outright in the class, and outright 16th position in the race. Looking pretty good for Moz to maybe slip down the inside here at the end of the straightaway. Here he goes. Under brakes, how late can he be in the Simworx.com car? He can go to the lead. Well done with that little battle. So Moz moves up into 16th outright now, which is P2 in class. Still led by Brad Wooten though, who's probably about 10 or 11 car lengths up the road, making it look very easy, and he's got a huge gap in front of him too. It's quite a speed difference between the older 2010 MX-5, which the Group B drivers are in, and the new 2016 MX-5 in iRacing. I think it's only about 16 horsepower, but I tell you what, it makes a huge difference out there at the current lap speed we've got. A 122.2 for Phil Sell at the front. That's his best lap time. And a 124.1, so almost 2 seconds slower for the Group B cars tonight. Should ask Luke about a Jetta race at Summit Point. Interesting. What did he do there? Phil's just moved that gap out to just on a second now, so he's just starting to bed out. Check out a little bit. He's got Morgan up in front, running in 30th and last position. Got 13 places in the race. So meanwhile, Ashley Norman, a different Norman, is running 7th outright. Is trying to do something about Brenton Hobson here, who is up 1 position. Jack Boyd up into 8th now, so he's slowly progressing his way forward. I thought it was a bit further down the order than he would like to be from qualifying. Maybe didn't get his laps completely in check and started from just outside the top 10. I'm sure he's once again sharing the car tonight with his dad. So they'll be doing the switcheroo at some point tonight, and Jack Boyd will jump out, Glenn Boyd will jump in the car for Boyd Racing. As we've got a spinner in the background, Liam Caplice, I think that was, in the Simworx.com car, just went for a huge off. Let's have a quick look at that on a replay. He's going to lose the back end too as well. There's the car in the background flashing away there, and yeah, he went in quite deep, and he's going to overcorrect this, and around she goes into the fence. A little bit of a bump. 45 car rejoins. Look at the back end though. That is stoved in. Now our jib camera operator there getting a great look at that one as well. Get him in focus. There he is, working hard tonight. Look at that. Look at the best crew. Best crew in the world. Look at that focus. The big boom up there, getting all the great shots that we see here on Race Stars TV. What a legend. Let's go back to live. New fastest lap for Luke Rosella, a 120.29 now. He's just turned the pace up. In fact, he's just got himself up into P2 ahead of Lachlan Murphy. Phil Stell's got the gap out to 1.5 seconds now, as they're really starting to embed themselves into some traffic here on lap 9. We're 12 minutes in this 90-minute race tonight. We've got 60 drivers out there tonight in this series, and at the moment we're seeing Phil Sell once again just chop his way through on another lapped car. Right, let's jump on board for a lap here with Jared Phil Sell. Sound up. Lap on board there with Jared Phil Sell, making it look easy, making it look smooth, as he leads on lap 11 now in this 1.5 hour race. 1.5 hours of fun in the MX-5s tonight. 2 classes of racing, of course. We've got the Group B as well. Currently the leader of that one, Brad Wooten. Once again, big margin, 4 seconds in front, so he's walking away. between Class B at the moment. I'll just read through the gaps because, like I say, I'm a little bit defensive this week. Whoever that was last week that said, "Oh, you don't show enough Group B battles." I'll keep you informed with them tonight. I will run you through it. But the gap at the moment, 4.4 seconds back to Moz, and it's just about a second back to Foster. Then you got a 4-second margin once again back to the 4th place driver. Then 8 seconds back to Glenn Wood, who sadly has dropped back. He's one of the Group A drivers. It's about 4.5 seconds then back to Darren Linus, and then 5.8 seconds back to the next Group B competitor. So not a lot going on back there. We're going to go back to the front though. Whilst we do though, Ashley Norman spun around from 11th back to 12th now, but back to the front because this is just closed up again now. So after a 1.6 second gap, Jared Philcell's lead has diminished to 0.2 of a second. Incredible. So whether or not he's just backed out of it a bit to save some fuel, I'm not sure. Shout out to a bit of Race Stars TV housekeeping, but if anyone wants to commentate, I think they got what it takes. We're looking to get some commentators on board at the moment, so get in touch via Facebook. If you've got experience and you've got a good mic and you know what you're doing and you reckon you can do this by yourself, let us know. Get you up and running. As we see Lachlan Murphy P3 all over the back of Philcell once again. Caleb Patterson running a little bit wide there. He did. Jack Boyd, here he goes. So Boyd now with a bit of a crisscross there, trying to find his way through on Patterson, and trying to keep in touch here with Hobson as well, who runs ultra wide off the corner. Go on board with Jack Boyd now down the straight. He chases Caleb Patterson. So the top 7 now compressed back to 2.2 seconds as we start lap 13. So it's nice and close. 17 minutes into the race, he hits the limiter down the end of the straight as well, so they're really pushing the limits of these MX-5s at the front. We've got a lap car in there, that's Walker, isn't it, the lap car? As they all get through, Walker tries to disappear out of the way in the purple car right up on the curb, so he's doing a pretty good job to make that car as small as possible as they all filter through the top 7, race through, and now down the back straight once again. So it's like a freight train at the moment, the Philcell freight train. Toot toot. He is leading the pack. And how long until he jumps out of the car, we won't know until the end of this fuel run. They are limited on fuel, and some of those details were sent through to me. Anthony Connor says it wasn't the start we wanted. No, not particularly. This lap car, Nancaro, 1.2 seconds up the road, could be interesting if they catch him down at turn 1. Field of 7 cars right behind now, and the lap car is actually disappearing as well. That can make plenty of drivers rather nervous. So let's see what happens here. We'll just keep an eye on Philcell. Will he just be playing on the side of caution? I think he is with that lap car. Oh, so that's Lee Harrison again. We'll start calling him 56k Motor Harrison. And now Philcell gets out of the way. This might give Luke Rosella a really good run at him. They're super close, and Lachlan Murphy there as well, trying to find his way through. So I'm just having a quick look at, oh, there's a bump there. He just turned into him. So Philcell holding his line. Don't think he did anything wrong there. Rosella thought he'd give him a little bit of a bump and almost put himself in the fence instead. In fact, I think the lap car did just feed itself into the fence there. Looking back, it's just rejoining now. It's Nancaro, so he's just gone off and given himself a cloud against the fence. But up the front, they're starting to get a little bit, I was going to say nasty, they're not getting nasty, they're just getting a little bit touchy-feely with each other, which is okay. I guess 13.5 litres was the fuel capping for the top cars and 14.43 for Group B. So a little bit more fuel in allowance for the Group B cars tonight. good battle at the front, and then from 13th down, really everything's spread out once again tonight. Here's the track map, so you can just see basically we've got a car at every part of real estate around this circuit tonight. There's another good camera vantage spot, I should say, up on the cherry picker. Place to watch you racing from, that's for sure. As we watch Jared Filsell still leading here out in front. Let's go back to the battle with Scott Hasler running in 9th place. He's got Nick Wood for the Phoenix Smokers racing car in 10s right behind him, starting to apply the screws. Let's jump on board. So he's just been knocking some time out. It was 6/10 on lap 14. It was just little nibbles on lap 10, 11 and 12. He lost about a half a tenth on lap 13, but he's really starting to close the margin now. Lap 16. Now that's what I was trying to read before. Was there a lap cap on this race? I was reading something about the fact there's no driver can exceed maximum lap count of 40, so there you go. So I was going to say we're going to do much more than 40 laps. That's Nick Wood doing a lot of fuel saving at the end of the straight there. So he's obviously talking to his teammate on the radio thinking, right, we've got to do something here with strategy. Ray Oliver as well. He's got some front end damage on that car. Gee whiz, the Linus car in front does, the Group B car. It's definitely been clouded as, yeah, you look at the back of Ray Oliver's car. It's looking nasty. It's got a big bit of damage at the back of that. So Hasler now all over the back, giving a bit of a push. Any wonder he's got the backside belted in. He's just been clobbered again down the back straight as they push and shove and bump draft. Well, we were offered the ability to go and talk to some drivers tonight. I'm not sure if we're going to do that or if when a good time to do it is. Like Greg said, jump in at any time, but I'm almost a little bit worried about doing so. As we just see this battle still unfolding between Rosella and Murphy into the braking zone. It's Murphy who just gets in front now, back into P2. We're on board with him, looking back at Rosella and your group leaders at this stage of the race. 22 minutes in now to this hour-and-a-half race. It's Filsell, Murphy and Rosella, your top three in Group A. Brad Woot is still leading Group B by a massive margin now, 6.5 seconds back to Moz, who's almost 4 seconds then in front of this man Mark Foster, holding on to a third position in Group B. That car behind is actually Glenn Wood, who's lost 5 positions tonight from one of our Group A drivers, unfortunately. Should be able to pass the Group B car pretty quickly though. Obviously the straight line speed advantage, a little bit more horsepower, just goes to show how quick it is. Meanwhile at the front, Murphy has another look. On board with Filsell. Just see right behind there's the Simworx.com car of Lachlan Murphy. The iKitchen. Is iKitchen like an iPhone? iKitchen. Into the pits goes Filsell. Boyd and Patterson goes in as well. I wonder if an iKitchen you can ask Siri if it will get you a cold drink. So Jared Filsell in the pits now. He'll jump out of the car, which he does. You just saw it disappear on us, and it will reappear now and start taking on some tyres. Up on 2 wheels there. The crowd's into the night. All enjoying themselves. So as we see Filsell, this guy here, he must have the sorest arm in the world. He has been standing like that for about 14 years with iRacing. He loves that pose. So Filsell out of the car. Brad Newman now jumps in. And he's still stationary. Now he's down off the jacks and he's just jumping out ahead of, he does get out ahead of Glenn Boyd, who's jumped in the car for Jack Boyd. So Jack Boyd out, Glenn Boyd in. They do have to change up the drivers tonight. Remember that there is a limitation. You must only do, well, a maximum of 40 laps each. We're already on lap 18 and we're 25 minutes in, so do the maths. They've got to make sure they don't blow out that 40 lap limit. Graham Ellis running P8 outright, doing a nice job. He's a great supporter of the channel, Graham. He's there watching most broadcasts and supporting us with stars as well. He's currently in 8th place here, the 888 Roof Space Renovators car, doing good for no stress racing. No stress at all. P8 doing a good job for Group A. Ridley at the moment, all over the back of the No Stress Racing, Graham Ellis. Trying to have a crack at him. We're just seeing now McMillan, Dyson, Oliver, Schreier and Merlin in the pits. So Michael Schreier's in the car and he's just coming out of the pits now after Brenton Hobson has jumped in for his stop. Dyson now leads the race. He comes out ahead of the Phil Cell car. So where's Phil Cell's car? There it is. Up to speed. It will get him. So Brad Newman in the Phil Cell Lobs, Fork and SpongeBob racing team sneaks through to the lead, but just ahead of the iKitchen, Simworx racing car of Dyson, and then Aaron Oliver sits in P3. So good move around. The Palmer's Penrite racing car holds on to third ahead of Thomas McMillan, who's brand new to this series as well. Smiling friends on the side of that car. Currently sitting in 4th place ahead of then Glenn Boyd. So that's been a good job from obviously one Jack Boyd getting themselves into the top 10. Now Glenn Boyd comes out of the pits in great track position. P5 to try and build something on that early advantage that his son has made. On board with Graham Ellis. Let's watch this battle as he takes a lot of the track there. He's trying to catch Kyle Ridley in front. Kyle's right behind this Boyd Schreier battle. Got a bit of an overlap there on, is that one of the Group B cars? I think it is. So the Group B car is Thorn. Proving a bit of a thorn in the side of Ellis at the moment. Now he gets through on him. They go either side of him. Does Ellis and McMahon. They sneak through. Meanwhile, Schreier, who's just jumping in the car, probably take a lap or two to feel confident, feel comfortable. He's battling here with Ridley, who just goes down the inside as well. So this is the Hobson Schreier car we're looking at for Synergy Sim Racing, currently sitting in P7. Great livery on that car. We do see a lot of it through the V8 vets. And Jamie McKnight and his sponsorship and teamwork are a good stable of drivers, Synergy Sim Racing guys. Hamish Clellan's in the car now for back pin and eye strain racing. I've got a bit of back pain and eye strain from today, being on the computer all day and then coming home and doing it again tonight. Back pain and eye strain, sounds like my life. Canto as well now moves up into 16th. In fact, he's just come out of the pits. He is leading still that Class B competition by 7 seconds now, so fair old margin, it's got to be said. Hey, like Peter Keller, he's in the house. Says, awesome as always. Hello, mate. Thanks for the stars, Star Legend. I'm not sure that star thing is updated. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, see, Graham Ellis was 330 stars tonight. I'll have to work out what's going on with our stars, our star sign. Just going to refresh the cache on it. Yeah, no, still not updating. Who knows? It's going a little bit crazy on us. Used to work well. Big thanks to you guys for all your support as we continue to watch. Canto leading Group B, 17th place outright. They've made up 6 positions in the race. So good job. This full cell car with Newman at the wheel still leads the race, but Dyson really starting to turn the screws, and Aaron Oliver, Thomas McMillan there as well. We know Thomas is a fast race car driver in all different worlds of sim racing, and he's now entered the frame here for the top 4 challenge. Jump on board with him for half a lap and crank up the sound. So Newman leads in the fill cell car still by 0.7 of a second. We're seeing them cut through the traffic at the moment. Millen, P3. Sorry about the delay there. We've got massive floods going on here at the moment, so hopefully everyone else is alright out there. We've got rain's been teeming down all day, roads are cut, rivers rising. I thought we'd already done enough of that this year, and the power just went out in the neighbouring suburbs, so we're still live, which is good. It's the main thing. Even though the backup power just flipped on and off for a moment there, I thought we'd lost it all, so we're all good. Newman, McMillan, Dyson in top 3, Aaron Orver just sitting in 4th, followed by Boyd, Schreier. He's starting to close down that margin too, on board with Michael Schreier for Synergy Sim Racing. So this is the Hobson car, and you can just see from that lap chart, he's been chipping away at Glenn Boyd. A second on lap 21, half a second on lap 22, 8/10 on lap 23, 3/10 on lap 24. So that pace, you would think he's probably going to sneak through very soon, as McMillan now goes to the lead. Thomas McMillan leading by 0.2 of a second, as we see Dyson now putting a bit of pressure on fuel cell as well. Now the top 19 cars are all Group A drivers. Our top Group B competitor, Dylan Canto, still down there in 20th outright with a lead of 11.6 seconds over Group B. Goes Boyd. Watch this. He's actually got a good toe here on the back of Oliver, which might just save him from Schreier for another half lap. In the background, that's yeah, Schreier's pulled out of the toe already. Michael Schreier having a good look on the outside. We're just right on board with him through the S's. Can they hold on? We're now 35, nearly 36 minutes in. So we're under an hour to go. I'm expecting another pit stop around lap 34 or so. Some cars might make it through to lap 35, 36 at the most. You would expect to see them come through. Good shot there of Schreier in the car, Ridley behind him, and then you've got McMahon and Ellis still rounding out the top 10. Scott Baker is in 10th place right there, Southern Cross Racing, and fighting his way back into this as well. Hello to everyone watching out there. Very quiet tonight on the chat. Mr. McMillan, that's the biggest lead we've seen anyone have tonight other than Phil Cell, so it's now out to a second. Oh, that was close to the fence though from McMillan. Precision, almost stuck it in the wall. Some people look at that on a replay. Just as I was giving him a wrap, just check this out. Through the corner, and that's as close as you want to get. In fact, if we just freeze, oh, we've missed it now, we can't freeze the camera there, but he missed that wall by millimetres, so I guess as long as you don't hit the wall, you're doing alright. But that was probably not what his teammate wants to see at this stage of the race. McMillan still now a 1.2 second lead. He's starting to walk away, but we've seen this tonight, haven't we? Phil was able to do this in the first stint, just walk out about a 1.2 to 1.3 second lead, and then all of a sudden it was back to 0.2. Whether or not that's the yo-yo mentality of fuel saving, or he had a bit of a mistake, we didn't catch it in that first instant. We'll now see what McMillan can do if he can carry on and maybe try and pull away. Just like I said a minute ago, that gap, 1.2 seconds, now back to 0.2 of a second. So it seems to be the way they can get out in front, and whether or not they're backing off or if it's just the power of the slipstream, all of a sudden Newman and Dyson are well within striking distance again. And then you look back further to the next battle between Boyd, or Oliver, in fact, Boyd, Schreier and Ridley, nothing in it between them. Let's go back to Group B. We'll go for a little bit of a fish around Group B at the moment. Greg Holmes, the series organiser, has now jumped in the car. He's running in 22nd position and 4th in class at the moment, so not too bad. He'll be hoping to get himself a podium tonight. He's got Jimmy Middleton next up the road for Hyping Racing. Then it's Anthony Connors now in the car from P20, and Dylan Canto still leading that class. So the gap between Holmes in 4th and Canto 32 seconds. That's a lot of work to do. As you just see him taking the shortcut across that curb. There's Middleton. The gap between these two, 0.8 of a second. So we may see Greg Holmes attack shortly. Ben Ferguson not too far behind as well. You got Terry Knowles, Bard Rodkin down in 25th place tonight. Scott Doherty's just behind him as well. There's Doherty. Then you got Stephen Kennedy, Paradiso down in 28th. Used to seeing him up a little bit higher when it's just the regular Roadster Rumble series rounds. In this team series, I think he's had a couple of incidents. Tyler, his teammate, has. Just Herrero as well down in 29th place, and Tim Rouse rounds out your top 30 back to the lead battle. And once again, McMillan out in front by over a second. So let's see if it goes this time. Andrew Dyson's got the lap car in there, is it? Yeah, there's a Logan in there. So we'll jump on board with Andrew Dyson, Keith Logan just up the road in this little scrap as well. Newman, and then lifts out of the throttle. So we see a lot of that in this series. I mean, it's a lot of fuel saving. What you can save out there whilst you've got this track position ends up paying you back big time in the fuel stop. And you can make up a fair bit of time by short fueling. So that's why we see it. I'm not 100% a fan of it. I love the races where the drivers are at 10/10s, but it seems to be a huge part of iRacing in general. Most series do run it so the fuel saving strategy becomes a part of it. Now, whether that's just the fact of real life and that's how it works, or if it's the way that it is designed to be, we tend to see the gloves not come off until the final pit stop is done, and then you'll see drivers really punch out some fast sectors. But right now it feels like we're in a bit of a stalemate. We're just sort of waiting to see what's going to happen next as Ridley and Logan goes side by side. Keith down in 17th place at the moment. He tries to get himself back to the lead lap, but he is down a lap. No safety cars in this series, so they will continue to push along. 41 now, 42 minutes into the race, so we're getting towards the halfway point. 45 minutes, obviously the halfway point tonight. Going wheel to wheel here is with Scott Baker as well. This is the Southern Cross Racing driver who's just behind Ellis, in fact beside him I should say. And they split apart for the corner entry. Scott Baker's going to swing in from the outside. Oh, he almost made contact there with Ellis, who held his line and said, hey, you're not going to do that today. And Ellis stays in front for now. Baker tucks back in behind. And we go on to start another lap as they flirt with the fence again down there. Gee whiz, they love going wide. On the back straightaway here at Sandown. Schreier is being attacked here by Kyle Ridley as well. Can he hang on? We'll know shortly. Down into the S as they go. Does hang on, so good shot as they skip their way down through there. Such a great angle, isn't it? We'll just have a quick look. We'll pause the camera here for a moment and watch some of the action. You're always bound to catch a little bit of sideways drifting down through here as well. If you sort of camera about there, and we just chill here for a little bit. You see what I mean? Watch some of the attitudes, some of the cars that come down through here. There's one wagging the tail. Seeing where the race leaders are. We might even wait for the race leaders. They're not too far away. Coming down the back straightaway now, so we'll stay here for a moment. Wait for them to come through and see how hard they're attacking it compared to these Group B cars. You'll see the posture of the car fly in. The Group A drivers, they're definitely using all that horsepower to their advantage. Just wait for them now. There's some Group A cars coming through now. They're down a bit further in the order. And here we go. So here comes the leaders now. Just look at the way they attack the S's. Absolutely commitment. Throwing it over the curb there. There goes Schreier. With Ridley still attached to the back of him. With Logan going through next. And they get right up on that curb. Check this out. Drift down through there. It's fantastic to watch. So that gives you a bit of an indication on the speed they carry, and then onto the pit straight, of course. McMillan out in front. The gap coming back down again to 0.5 of a second. They're lapping in the mid-21s, mid to high 21s now as well, so about a second and a half off their ultimate pace. These drivers have just backed right off. RC Game Over says, is this live now? Yes, it is live right now. Hello. Ray Morgan, our team goal was to not get a pit lane penalty, but we failed that one. Oh, that sucks. RC Game Over. Yeah, always live, man. Ask me a question, I'll reply right now. So lap 33, we're expecting pit stops shortly. McMahon's in the pits now. 45 minutes into this race, halfway point underway. And McMillan still leads by 0.2 of a second. That margin is about to disappear. Look at Simon Joel Smith for Motorsport Haulers Racing. Sitting back in 18th place, not really in a battle. He's got a 7-second buffer either side of him at the moment, so it's, well, you sort of hold station, don't you? You try and catch the car in front. They'll be watching relatives, maybe putting their delta up on the screen. His lap pace at the moment at 1:21.6, so it's not too bad compared to the leaders who are in the 22s. He's doing everything he can to try and catch Dylan Cantor, who's the leader of Group B, in 17th outright. We've got Patterson, Burden, and Pears in the pits now. So is that Josh Burden jumping in the car? It is. He'll do the final 2 stints of this race, I presume, because I think that's the first time we've seen Josh out in the car tonight. So I'm just having a quick look at the driver tracker here on my other screen. And just to see who Josh was teamed up with. Yeah, he's going to get out there now and obviously takes over after his teammate got out of the car. I'm still looking for the driver list here. It's up and down my screen. I tell you what, I think I'm computer screen blind at the end of today. My eyes are absolutely shot. The screen's a blur and I cannot see Josh Burden on my driver list. So there you go. Was he a late scratching, a late entry? Who knows? I know he's here somewhere. We'll find him eventually. In the meantime, maybe someone out there can tell me who he's teamed up with. But yeah, he's in the car now, and I presume we'll do the second half of this race. As Newman in the pits, Turner, Boyd, and Baker all in the pits too. So McMillan stays out. Dyson, Oliver Schrey, your top 4, and Ridley and Newman will rejoin now in P6 after making that 3rd stop. So they'll have one more stop after that. And Brad Newman will come out. That means Phil Sell will do the final stint. So it was a Phil Sell opening stint. Brad Newman's doubled up now to do the middle 2, and then Phil Sell will bring it home in this Lobs, Fork and SpongeBob racing team. Once again, our cameraman working hard down there, checking his camera shots as he goes. What sort of camera is that? Is that a Canon? Oh, he's disappeared. Back to the future he goes. Andrew Dyson leading the race out in front. He has only made the one pit stop though, so we expect to see him in shortly. Who's it lap? 36. So yeah, probably extending to the end of this lap would be the furthest you'd go on that tank of fuel. And then he'll have to jump in. McMillan are in, Oliver's in as well, Ridley and Schreier have all come into the pits. Where will they end up in comparison to this man who's just coming around onto the pit straight now? So I can tell you, McMillan I think is going to get out in front. He's been stationary for a while. He's just running down the ramp now here. And here comes Newman down the pit lane. He's at full speed. I think he's going to get Aaron Oliver, jump on board with him. So he's going to get Aaron Oliver. There he goes. But I don't think he's going to catch Thomas McMillan. He doesn't. So McMillan does come out in second, which is a net P1 once Andrew Dyson stops. So that's a great job. These guys are on fire tonight, joining this series for this event. And the 55 car absolutely cruising along. Go Aussie, says RC Game Over. So Dyson in the lane now from the lead of the race. Only 50 minutes in now, so time ticking down, 40 minutes to go. Can you pick a winner from here? You're going to see, once Dyson takes his pit stop, I think we're going to see the top 5 still covered by less than about 3 or so seconds, so it's pretty close out there. Scott Baker in 9th though. He's had his second pit stop and he's chasing down Marty Turner in the Chicken Up Racing. Who had chicken for dinner tonight? I reckon this guy had chicken for dinner tonight. Flicks it into the S's. I love that initial flick into the corner. They're pretty forgiving, these MX-5s. They can throw them around. They can throw them into the corner knowing full well that they're not going to do one of those crazy iRacing slip and spins where they just continue to fire off into the weeds. Looks like Dyson was actually able to hang on to the lead, and McMillan P2, Newman 3, and it was actually a 5.3 second gap. Now he's done that through a short fuel stop. We'll have a quick look at the strategy board, which will update shortly to show Dyson has he's on lap 1 of this new stint. He's just caught up in this little scrap too with some lap cars, which won't help him. But what I want to do is just quickly change those numbers on the pit strategy listing there to show the pit stop time, and that will just give us an indication on the stoppage time. So we'll wait for it to update on the next lap. You can see the first pit stop was pretty even right across the board. 31.8 seconds for Dyson, 32.4 and 31.1 for Newman. That's how long they were stationary in the pits taking fuel. Now it's changed for this next one, and I'll probably use the left-hand side of the screen to show you, unless it updates now, which it will. Stoppage time is 16.9 seconds for Dyson. Now that compares to the 22.8 and the 23.9 for the next 2 drivers. And I will use the left-hand side because it has not decided to update. So there you go. So you can see that's the stoppage time on your left now. 16.9 for Dyson was about a 6-second short fuel, which you'll obviously pay for in the next pit stop. But what it has given him is track position by 5.1 seconds over McMillan and ensured that he'd get out in front. Now, as long as he's got the pace to carry on, that's a great move. Group B time. We've got a battle for the lead of Group B. It's Anthony Connors, who has done an incredible short pit stop, 4 seconds stationary, which puts him now in 20th place ahead of Dylan Canto. Now Dylan took 22 seconds worth of fuel, so I'm not sure if Connors has made a mistake here, but what he has done is put himself in a scrap for the lead of Group B. be. Whether or not that'll pay out in the end, because he'll have to have a super long final stop here tonight, but it gives him some cred, some street cred, some airtime here as he leads in the Simworx.com car. And the gap between them just on half a second. Now they're down a lap, as you can see from the left-hand side of your screen there. Everyone from 15th down is unfortunately outside of the lead lap at the moment. But they're still pushing hard out there. They've got their own battles to race and win, of course, as we see Schreier still chasing down Aaron Oliver. No, sorry, that's the Group B car getting out of the way. Gee, they're a bit knocked up, these cars, aren't they? Big dents on them. You can see Ridley behind as well. And Glenn Boyd, how far back Boyd is now? He's got back 18.3 seconds from the lead of this race. Hello, Jokin. Good evening, my friend. Hope you're all doing well. So the best lap time we've seen at this stage of the race as we hit the 56-minute mark. And, oh, that was a car into the lane. I thought it was broken down for a minute there, but it was just coming into the lane. The best lap time we've seen belongs to P2, the Thomas McMillan car at the moment. And they've done a 1:20.2. I can tell you they're way outside of that lap time again. So obviously it's the everyone's in fuel-saving mode. They've flicked on the economy switch. And we're now seeing last lap times, as you can see on the screen, a 1:21.6 for your race leader, a 1:21.3, a 1:21.3, and a 1:22.3 the top four. So well outside of their ultimate lap pace drivers at the moment. The intervals for the top drivers as well, you can see we've only got those two drivers in the top 10 within a second. And then Smith down there is also within a second of this man, Henry Fenson now. As they battle. 15th place, Simon Joel Smith next in the order, and then Ben Ferguson further back. I thought he had some trouble with that car, but he doesn't. The Simworx Race Simulators Mazda MX-5 just giving the wall a bit of a brush there. Kept the logo on the car, so that's all that counts for the sponsors. And he currently sits 23 seconds behind 16th, so we expect that a little bit in these endurance races, the gaps to blow out to quite a big margin. As a driver, I think just keeping that focus is so important, making sure that you just continue to either turn your delta on and hit your lap times, or you just talk to your teammate and keep yourself engaged and make sure that you're on the money when it comes to not putting it in the fence and getting, sometimes you can get distracted or you can get a little bit relaxed. I used to find the mid part of the race when I was doing longer races like this, it was so easy just to sort of relax and have a little bit of a rest. And that's when you start to make a few mistakes. Stephen Kennedy's come off the racetrack. Let's have a quick look at this. See what happened with him. This is down at the S's. So Kennedy was into the braking zone, just ran wide through there. And what happened to Jamie Walker? That was a similar spot. Does Walker collect it? Yeah, I think that was a secondary impact there. So just have a quick look at that. So yeah, this was Walker coming down, and then he will just see the car off the track here. Oh no, this is a different one. He got belted from behind there. Unfortunately, by I think, trying to pick up who that car was behind. Anyway, he got taken out. So back to the race leagues. I want to see this battle now within 0.3 of a second. In fact, between second and third now is McMillan and Newman battle away. It's still 5 seconds, so Dyson's been able to maintain that 5 second buffer since the pit stop. Jokin's had the spicy cough, so he's on recovery mode. That's good to hear, mate. You're on the mend. I don't think I ever fully recovered from COVID. I think I stopped exercising and working too much and not eating healthy. I've got to get back on the wagon, get back into some walking. It's just a bit hard when it rains every day, and we're about to get flooded again here in the Highlands. So they call it the Southern Highlands. Well, mate, we may as well be underwater right now. I've never seen so much rain in a year. We had 230 millimetres today. It's ridiculous. It's almost a 30 centimetre ruler. I said about, what was it, 3 years ago? Build a bigger dam. Reckon they build a bigger dam? No. Anyway, all this good water going back out to sea. And I think when the cycle changes and we go back to having a drought, we're going to wish we had a bigger dam right now. But anyway, who am I to say that we should be catching this great water? Dyson, 5-second lead. Let's go back to the Group B battle. Canto, he's now pulled out a margin over over Anthony Connors, 32 seconds. So that was obviously to do with the pit stop. Connors did have to go back in the pits. And he only took 11 seconds that second time, so interesting. He's had those two short little stops. Keith Logan just in front, just for Matty Wins. Says, come on, Keith, pull your finger out. He's driving hard. He got unlucky to get caught in that opening lap incident. We'll show you what it was. So this is right at the start of the race. This is how it went down for Keith, unfortunately. And he was just minding his own business off the get-go. We're right on board with Keith here. And watch this. So the car spun in front and just reversed straight into him. And unfortunately for Keith, that has put him on the back foot since the start of this race. Damien Seeger in the car. We've got McMahon behind him. It's WBT Racing versus Phoenix Smokers Racing, a couple of the sponsors from the series at it together here. And 68 MX-5 looking pretty clean at the front, but check out, oh no, the back end of his car is pretty good as well. It must be the McMahon car stoved in at the back. There it is. That was from earlier in the race when he got a big hit from behind. Which is all the back end of the car up into the skies. There's Andrew Dyson, your race leader, catching those drivers. So it just shows how far along they've lapped everyone up to 14th place now as Andrew Dyson, and that gap has just increased a little bit now. Now making a move on Newman and goes through to P2. So this is now 25, 26, 27 minutes to go in the race. And Newman needs to start thinking about setting this car up for the final stint. Jared Filser will know he'll be quick and he should be able to come home fast at the end, but he's got to make sure he gets a car that doesn't have too much damage and is in a good position to challenge, because he will have to do a bit of overtaking by the looks of things. Dyson will jump out of the car. Remember, he's short fueled, so expect him to be in, well, maybe in a couple of laps, in fact. We need to set it up. So we're going to get another 3-4 laps done, in fact, as they go through on the lap car. He jumps out once Dyson gets out of the car. And you see Ricky Vilanzali jump in, although I think it's Lachlan Murphy tonight, isn't it? So he's got the reserve driver. That's why I didn't see Josh Burton before. I was looking everywhere for Josh. He's a reserve driver with Liam Caplice tonight, so it's Phil Onti who's not here. Hence why Burton's in the car. Which all makes sense now. So McMillan goes through as Dyson does have to stop now. Hopefully he can get to the end of the race from there. Like I reckon that short fuel stop may have done them a nasty tonight. Whether or not they can do the final 26 minutes of the race on one tank, it'll be pretty tight. Jokin says same up here in the Upper Hunter. Too bloody wet these days. Mate, like I said a few times, I own a motorbike and I may as well just get rid of the thing. I think I'd be lucky to have done 100 Ks in the last 3 months. Count down the minutes now towards the end of this round 5 of the Roadster Rumble, thanks to Simworx Race Simulators. And Sandown once again turning on some good racing. Let's jump on board here with Brad Newman as he tucks up behind Thomas McMillan. And P2 in the race. He knows he's got Phil Sell to enter the car shortly in this final pit stop. And I expect to see them maybe come in soon to try and cover off Dyson. Dyson can make it home from here. Surely these guys are thinking about, especially Newman, about just getting Phil Sell in the car ASAP. Let's see if he ducks to the right here. No, he continues on for another lap. In 14th place, so he's the next one on the chopping block as far as being lapped, and he just almost lost it then, but he's regathered himself. But he is going to have the race leaders on top of him very shortly. You can just see them just a couple of cars back. That is McMillan. So before you know it, they're going to be overtaking him, and that means they will have lapped everyone up to 13th place. They continue on the charge here. Newman close again though, looking for a way through. Has to hold station for now through the S's, putting plenty of pressure on McMillan, who's answering all of the pressure with some superb driving here tonight. So far, being able to stand up to any challenge that Newman's given him. So it's great driving. So here we go. This is an important pit stop. We'll keep an eye on where they come out. So Aaron Oliver continues on. He needs to make another stop. We're looking all the way back to Lachlan Murphy. Now this is the Dyson car, Murphy-Dyson car. That it's going to be pretty close. They did take 31 seconds worth of fuel, so that's a long stop. Like I said, they would have had to pay for that short stop at the other end of the scale, which they have now. And I reckon Phil Sell will come out ahead of Murphy. He's just coming onto the pit straight now. So Phil Sell's just dropped off the jacks. Let's see how long maybe not. Lachlan Murphy is coming down here at full speed. Where's Phil Sell? Is he moving yet? He's just rolled away now. He just comes out of the pits. And he's beaten him out there. So Murphy effectively now leading this race from Phil Sell. And I'll tell you what, that's been a good stint there by Dyson to be able to give them a little bit of an advantage, because they did take, very similar fuels. So whether or not he's got enough to the end, you would think he has if Phil Sell's taken the same amount. And Rosella, who's back in the car now as well, also took the same amount of fuel. They've repaired the cars by the looks of it too, using their fast repair, which means we've got nice clean cars at the front of this run now to the end. And with 21.5 minutes to go, Lachlan Murphy is in the box seat. We've got Aaron Oliver, Ridley, Shrey's in the lane now from third. Boyd and Turner will still need to stop again as well. Aaron Oliver leading this race though for Palmer's Penrite Racing. We're enjoying every moment of this, hence while we're watching him right now. He does need to make one stop though, and predicting he'll probably come out around Luke Rosella, who's currently in 8th place. Oh, big crash in the background. That was huge. Huge crash. And that's Ben Ferguson. So what on earth has happened there? Ferguson got absolutely crunched there. Was it Canto, I think, the other car? Let's have a quick look at that on the replay. So what happened here to Ferguson? He came around the corner and he lost the back end. The Simworx car, the 45, then went straight into the back of him. So a big moment there. And oh wow. Not ideal for any of them, but Ferguson is going to limp that back to the pits. And I'm just trying to see what condition the 45 car. Police had to stop. I reckon he's got a meatball there, so Liam could police into the pits. And that could be the end of the night. They repair the car quickly and get straight back out onto the track. But what could have been for them is now all unravelled, and they will drop way down the order. So Kyle Ridley now leads. Lee Harrison back in the car for the Palmer's Penrite racing car. Glenn Boyd in the car. I think will be jumping out, will he? Or will he be doing the final stint? And Lachlan Murphy just coming onto the pit straight now to try and go down. And well, he'll go close to retaking the lead of this race. So all happening here with under 20 minutes to go now. They are fired up. Ridley out in front, down the back straight. He's got a 31-second lead. Don't really pay advantage of that. That's going to disappear shortly. The lead we're looking at is this one between Murphy and Phil Sell. It's 3.7 seconds. The last lap around for Phil Sell, 120.6. He was 1.3 seconds quicker than Lachlan Murphy. So that's what you want to see if you're in the Phil Sell camp. Those sort of lap times right now. Rosella as well, he's right there too, so he'll be pushing them along. He's in 4th place, make that 3rd place once Ridley does come in for that stop. So, big swapper there for Phil Sell. He's driving the wheels off this car. That is incredible to watch. We'll have a quick look at that moment down through the S's for Phil Sell right behind Rosella. Have a look at this in the. We'll do a super slow-mo on this one because he was pushing it to the extreme. Just watch the attitude of Phil Sell's car. He backed it into the corner that way. Now watch this. Leaps up over the curb, goes back the other way, and great car control there by Jared. Currently P3, and the lead now coming down as well. So. The gap's 3 seconds. That lap around, Murphy was a 121.4, a 120.6, 8/10 quicker again on that lap, and he's skidding around. So he's taken 2 seconds out of him in the last 2 laps. Jared Phil Sell out of Lachlan Murphy's effective lead of this race. Remember that Kyle Ridley still needs to stop. So it's going to come down to the wire. And it's going to come down to a battle then between, I think, 3 cars, Murphy, Phil Sell and Rosella, for the win in this race tonight. This team's endurance event, the second one we've done after last week's fantastic Phillip Island 90-minute race. We're back here again tonight as Ridley now does come into the lane from the lead. The number 46 car will stop, take its final fuel, and we'll see a more relative order now as Ray Oliver jumps back in the car. The car reappears up in the air. Oliver now in the seat. So there's your gap. Murphy back to Phil Sell. Phil Sell battling with Rosella. So I think both these drivers on a pretty even par at the moment as far as lap time. It was a 20.6 versus a 20.5, so Rosella was actually quicker. He is getting the advantage at the toe. Meanwhile, Group B, Brad Wooten has got a gap of 21 seconds over Moz Moroz tonight. There's Moz. Jesse White Carriage down in 22nd place. Oh, someone's going for a bit of a ride there, a wild ride. And that's the 45 car, the Simworx car as well. Then Mark Foster, 4 seconds or 5 seconds back, 4th in that class at the moment. Terry Knowles, 26 seconds back in 5th for Group B. Let's go back to the Phil Sell battle. Top between Phil Sell, Rosella, and Harrison is also trying to bolt onto this battle. Phil Cell to the lead. Didn't take long, did it? And Murphy goes to the overtake as well. In fact, Rosella goes to the big overtake on Murphy and puts himself in P2. I wonder if Murphy's in a bit of fuel strife here. He's lost a lot of time in the last few laps. He lost 1.9 seconds on that lap just gone by. 1.2 the lap before, 9 tenths before that, 1.2 on lap 50. So it's been a backwards roll here for Lachlan Murphy, but the guys at the front are just super quick, aren't they? Phil Cell now leads the race. Back further, Nick Wood in 14th place has now been lapped by the leader. He's got Wayne Losh just in front of him. It's still this WBT and Phoenix Smokers battle going on between these two sponsors of the series. They're having a great little wrap out here tonight, these two. Nick Wood just leading that by the narrowest of margins as they go down into the braking zone to bring us back onto the pit straight. Oh, car stop there. That's one of the Hot Ping Racing drivers spun around down there. And good evasive action there by Wood to not go ploughing into the side of that car, which was parked across the racetrack. So 14 minutes to go. We are counting down now towards what will be a Rosella, Phil Cell and Murphy battle to the flag. 2 tenths cover the top few drivers. In fact, it's 6 tenths now covering the top 3. Let's go back down to Group B for a moment with Wood. 26 seconds clear of his closest competitor in Group B, so it's really spread out. Wood and then Moroz. We haven't seen much of the lane there. We haven't seen much of Terry Knowles, but he's currently in 25th place. BJ Whiteman, 26, has made up 2 positions in the race. The biggest mover and shaker, Liam Cablice, the Simworx racing car, 8 spots tonight. Scott Baker in the Southern Cross racing car has also made up 8 spots. Their team up into the top 10 in 8th position. That's a good result for them and Southern Cross Racing, so congratulations, well done. So Phil Cell leading by just on a 10th. I wonder what Luke Rosella's got in the bank here. He's showing his cards, which he moves in front now and puts Phil Cell back in behind. So he's happy to race wheel to wheel here with probably what I reckon we'll get another 8 laps in this race. So he's happy to show what he's got underneath him. Phil Cell, oh, he's even defending. Look at the big chop there across. That'll help Lachlan Murphy stay in this battle. And he got a good exit there too, did Phil Cell. So I think Phil Cell will probably gobble him up down the straightaway. In fact, he's given him a bit of a little bumperoony there, pushing along nicely. And now he goes around him. So, like I said, if you're Luke Rosella and you think you can take it to Phil Cell, would you stay behind until a lap to go and then give it one big shot? Or would you show your cards early, which he's done, and then Phil Cell will sort of know what to expect over the course of the next 10 or 12 minutes in this race. Lachlan Murphy just needs to stay engaged here because anything could happen in front and he could still pick himself up a win tonight. Lee Harrison out of contention, you'd think now, unless there is a crash in front. 8.5 seconds back. Brenton Hobson back in the car as well. 5th place for him, Hobo 88. So he's sitting now 11.7 seconds off the lead in 5th. Then it's Ray Oliver. Jack Boyd's back in the car for the final stint, handing over from Glenn to Jack. So he's 7th place and nearly 28 seconds off the lead. And it's Scott Baker, Graham Ellis running in 9th, still inside the top 10. Ashley Norman for Chicken Up Racing, running at your top 10. 8 minutes of this race now. We count it down. We've got the top 10. Phil Sell, Rosella, Murphy, Harrison, Hobson, Oliver, Boyd, Baker, Norman and Complete top 10. Top 5 in Group B. It's Brad Wooten still leading that class by 34 seconds now. Massive lead for him. Moz sits in second. Mark Foster third. Terry Knowles sits in fourth. And then Jess White-Carriagey rounds out your top 5 in the B class tonight. So to take honours in that, you would think Wooten already has that tied up. We'll stay with the lead battle. Henry Fenton says 2 weeks in a row I've crashed on cold tyres. Not quite built for enduros. That's unlucky. Henry tonight. Brad Newman says, is Thomas McMillan in this? He sure is. He's out of the car now, but his teammate Luke Rosella in second place, challenging for the lead. So and he's got a 56k modem as well. He's just disappeared on us. So Phil Sell, we're right on board with him with 7.5 minutes to go. So behind him, he's got the Luke Rosella Thomas McMillan car. Wogganick Racing, or Wogganick Transport is the name of their car, chasing down the Lobs Falcon SpongeBob Racing team. Falcon, I'm going to say that correctly, otherwise it sounds terrible. And they've got a heap of lap cars that they're going to come across here in the last dying laps of this race. So this could be very interesting. Lachlan Murphy has dropped back 2.3 seconds now. Like I said, he just needs to keep in check here because you just see that photographer really zooming in and getting a good shot as they bounce their way through the curbs. Photo. And yeah, he's got to stay in touch, Murphy, because with all this lap traffic coming up, this could get a bit spicy for the race leaders. Phil Sell, Rosella. Let's have a little look on visor cam and the run down through the S's here. You get a bit of a feel what I mean for how quick this part of the circuit is. Feed it in, try and just jump across the curb there. And you've got what, 3-4 cars up the road that they're going to have to probably pass before turn 1, because these guys are lapping well in advance of probably 2 seconds a lap quicker than some of these drivers in front. Phil Sell just had a look, got his nose chopped off. That's what I mean. It really can go against you sometime, the lap traffic. Phil Sell's waking them up as well, which gives Rosella a bit of an easier run through from behind. So I wouldn't count this as over yet. Jared might have his work cut out for him. 0.3 of a second as they cross the line. And Rosella, for a minute I thought he was going to go either side of the lap car. They do now. And into the braking zone. The lap car hopefully knows he's there. He does. And now he fights it back. I tell you what, they're not making this easy for Luke Rosella. The lap car almost gives him a little bit of a bump there. And when I say lap car, that's Wood, isn't it? So Wood's off the track. Comes back on. Nick Wood, is it? No, it's not Nick Wood. It's the other Wood. Glenn Wood. So you're not cutting any slack here from the guys leading this race as they pile through 5 minutes to go. So the Jared Phil Sell car leads with Brad Newman as his teammate sitting on the sidelines, listening and watching along, giving some advice, spotting and watching for any sorts of issues. Once again, how good is the run down through the S's there for Jared Phil Sell. Always worth watching for a second time in the super slow-mo. Just the way, the attitude of this car, check it out. It just, it looks incredible. Gets right up on the curb and just dances its way down through the S's. So very good to watch. Mr. Phil Sells. The gap's now out to half a second. That's the most it's been in a little while, and they've still got now Doherty and Hassler just up the road as well. Predicting 3 more laps in the race. So it's going to come down to whether or not Rosella's got anything left in the tank. I think Phil Sell might step it up a notch now, and he has. He's get back into the 1 minute 20s. We noticed that they dropped off to the 21s and 22s lap after lap. Now I think we're going to see the raw pace of this guy as he closes this race out and tries to take a win tonight. Rosella's sneaky little cheeky pass there on the lap car down the inside. And the next driver up the road for them as Phil Sell goes past us. Caprice, unfortunately, his luck ran out tonight. His team, they had that incident, put them back in the pits for an extra stop. Thanks, Damien. Hope you're doing well tonight, man. I got caught a little bit of you racing out there, but not a lot, so I do apologise. People often ask me, how do I who do I focus on? I really just watch for battles, so I know I try and share the love a little bit, but it's a bit hard sometimes. But well done tonight, mate. I'm just trying to see where your teammate is as we stay focused on this battle. Car into the pit lane. I thought it was in the fence for a moment. Wayne Roche, there he is. That's the teammate for Damien. Currently running in 13th place outright with 3 minutes to go. Lee Harrison in the background as well, getting a bit of a run here. Brenton Hobson, 5th, about to make it 4th place for Hobbo 88. And he gets himself through. So the gap 2.8 seconds to Murphy up the road. He may still get on the podium here, Hobbo. His lap time there was almost 2 seconds quicker. In fact, it was 2 seconds quicker than the car in front. Now he's got to close down a gap of 2.4 seconds. He'll get 2 laps to do that. So he took 3 seconds out of Murphy on lap 61, 2 seconds on lap 62. That was making some overtakes as well. And he fancies himself with a last-minute podium here, does Brenton Hobson. So we'll come back to that, definitely. That will be interesting. And here is your race leader through. Now they'll get, well, we were just about to come down through the final kink onto the main straight. I think we're still going to get 2 more laps in here tonight. So Phil Sell through the final corner now. The lap car gets out on the grass out of the way. That's Foster getting out of the way. So we're going to cross the line with 2 minutes to go, which means that will be 2 more laps in the race. That is good news for this guy, Hobson, who's all over the back of Murphy now. He's just knocked another couple of seconds out of him on this lap, and he's about to get himself up into a podium spot. So I think that Murphy in the Simworx.com car is probably in some fuel drama, hence why his lap times are now into the 24s. So it's gone backwards for them in the final stages of the race. It's gone forwards for this man Hobbo, up 4 spots, and that was a crash in front of us. Who was that? Real good. Hobson right up on the curb again. And now gap 11 seconds to the next car up the road, which is the guys battling for the lead. And with about a second lead, Phil Sell's looking pretty comfortable here, isn't he? 7/10. It's coming down in the slipstream down the back straight. Here's this shot of Phil Sell drifting his way down through the S's. It's just such a good flow. And we'll get the white flag at the end of this one. 1 to go. The gap's 7/10 of a second, as Murphy now has been overtaken by Harrison as well. May lose another spot, depending if he's out of fuel or not, to Ray Oliver in 6th place. But Murphy's lap time has dropped incredibly. He took a similar amount of fuel to the other drivers, but I think that short fuel that they did, remember Dyson, wasn't it, that just took that extra, or took 6 or 16 seconds worth of fuel at one point, has ended up coming back to bite these guys tonight. As the white flag drops now, so the Murphy car will struggle its way home. 6/10 is the gap into this final lap of the race. We're a third of the way through the lap, and it is Phil Sell by 4/10. The gap's come down. What has Luke Rosella got in store for us? Looks like Hobbo has commanded that P3. Should be able to hang on from there. We're looking back from Phil Sell's car. Rosella took 2/10 out of Phil Sell on the previous lap. Not staying in the tow. He's going to, in fact, he's using the tow there of the lap car. Now he ducks around at the last minute down through the S's for the final time. Phil Sell out in front. Murphy closing the gap down to 4/10. Not much in it. You can't have any mistakes though now for this last part of the lap. And just one real tight kink to go for Jared Phil Sell. Chucks it to the right, chucks it back to the left, and he's going to take a victory tonight. Jared Phil Sell once again has driven a marvellous race tonight. He'll cross the line to take the win. And Brad Newman and Jared Phil Sell in that lead car win it from Luke Rosella, who gets second with Thomas McMillan, his partner in crime, taking out a top 2 tonight. Brenton Hobson confirmed P3 tonight. He takes a great result there for Hobbo 88 and his teammate as well. They should be pretty proud. So good racing in all. And Brad Wooten down all the way in 20th place will take the win for Group B. from Mosmoroz. 45 seconds the gap between those drivers, so huge gaps. We'll bring you back all the results shortly. We'll wrap it all up and get some interviews here from Sandown as the final drivers cross their places. But good job, Brad Wooten, to take a win tonight in Class B. Phenomenal effort. Race results coming up on the screen now, and a big congratulations to the Lobs Falk and SpongeBob Racing team with the win tonight from the Waggon Hick Transport team. Synergy Sim Racing takes out your top three, and then a big congratulations over the page to the winner of Class B tonight, Direct Clutch Motorsports, at the hands of Brad Wooten and his teammate. A great drive by those two. And his teammate, of course, the name has just slipped me for a second there, but his teammate for Wooten is Dylan Cantor, of course. So well done to both those drivers, and a great effort for them to take you out the top honours. Right, we're going to head across now and try and find some interviews with the drivers. Let's see who we've got standing by already tonight for a little wrap-up of the race. We started with a little bit of chaos right at the start. Obviously, we had that crash from the get-go, which took a few drivers out. It was a good start from the front from Phil Cell off the line, but at the end of the day, it was a 90-minute race, and they played the cards correct, and they got the win. So we'll just wait now for the drivers to pop in. There's no one here yet. As soon as they make their way across the booth, we'll be able to have a chat. But Lobs Falcon Racing take the win tonight there. You can see the jump off the start. The number 10 car pretty dominant off the get-go. But the Luke Rosella car was there all race as well. They drove so well. Brenton Hobson made up positions. He made up 4 positions to get that top 3 tonight. So that's really good effort by him, and Harrison, Murphy, Oliver, Boyd, Baker and Norman to round out your top 10. Also did a great job. There is that spin right at the start I was talking about, Keith Logan. Look at that, unfortunate damage for Keith. Just in the wrong place at the wrong time there, and he got absolutely clobbered. Righto, so just waiting on interviews. We'll give them a couple more minutes before we shut it all down, but Jared Philsell, good job tonight. I think they're just starting to pop in now. They're jumping into Team 7's channel. Let's see if we can grab them down for a chat. Right, here they are. So let's grab them now from the green room. So we'll start off with your race winners tonight. And congratulations to Jared and Brad Newman for taking out the win tonight in the Roadster Rumble 90-minute race from Sandown. Congratulations, boys, and great job out there.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's a cool race. Probably a little bit less hectic than last weekend, but yeah, the traffic was interesting, which made it good. I'm sure it looked good on the broadcast.
It did, mate. And the big slides down through the S is always a highlight in these cars here at Sandown.
Yeah. There's no room given coming down the S's there. It's cool. Yeah, win it or bin it through there every lap.
That's it. And Brad, mate, good job for you as well. Obviously, having team out with Jared tonight, you sort of, your stints in the middle did a perfect job as well.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It was pretty good. Jared had to do the hard stint. He was up against Luke. I luckily was up against Thomas. He's known around the paddock as being a bit of a wobbler, so it was a bit easier for me. But yeah, Jared did a good job.
I should really pull him into the same room before we make these comments.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have something similar to say, mate.
No, well, good racing tonight, and we've brought him in now. So, Thomas, you've just been called a bit of a wobbler out there, mate. What's your reaction to that?
Well, who said that?
No, good drive, mate.
Brad Newman, he's a bit of a wobbler himself. But yeah,
Yeah, we were racing for the Wobbler Cup out there in the middle of it. We just let the other boys finish her off.
But
Yeah,
Pete,
we're both anchors for our teammates there.
Luke and Thomas, well done. P2 tonight. Obviously, this is your first run in this series, isn't it?
Yeah, first run. It's two of our favourite, both our favourite track. So we thought, why not have a go? And Thomas, likes the Mazda. I rarely race this thing, so I was learning off him a little bit, but I was actually quicker than him. So I was surprised I was qualifying the car, but no, we had a good fun. It was a good event.
Yeah, look good out there. So well done for P2 tonight. We'll come back for some thank yous shortly. I don't think we've got Hobbo or Shreya in the chat, so we'll just move right on to the thank yous before we move on to Group B. So well done tonight, first of all, for our winners, Jared and Brad. Who would you guys like to thank?
Obviously, Falcon with their continued support of the car. We've brought on SpongeBob this year. It's a bit of a hybrid scheme that we got going. Really trying to expose both brands at once. But yeah, I'd just like to give a shout out to Thomas. We're officially the Ferrari Mazda champs. So yeah, we got one up on them tonight.
Well done. Anything you want to add to that, Brad?
No, mate, Jared wrapped that up nicely, so that's all. Thanks for having the race for us. It was fun.
Beautiful. And then P2 tonight, Luke and Thomas, who would you like to thank?
I'll thank Walking Hit Transport. They're really great logistics company. They do a lot for us. I also want to thank Smiling Friends. Great TV show, and they're a good partner to have on board.
Well done. Anything you want to add to that one, Thomas?
Oh, not much to add to that one, mate. I'd just like to thank Luke. He drove pretty well tonight, and so did all you other boys.
Right, thanks. So that's your top two teams tonight for Group A. So thanks, boys.
Cheers.
Right, we're bringing Group B's winner now, which was Dylan Canto and Brad Wooten. So I'm going to grab those guys and have a quick chat with them. So congratulations, Dylan and Brad. Good drive tonight, mate, to take out the Group B race here at Sandown. Not a lot of racing action out there, but you still had to keep it together for 90 minutes, and you did just that.
Yeah, it was a tough race. This track keeps you on your toes. I think after that first stint, well done to Brad for keeping us out of trouble. After that first stint, I think it was just mainly managing the traffic we had from the 2016. But we managed to manage all of them and get through and take the win.
Great drive tonight, and of course your teammate. How did you find it tonight, Brad?
Yeah, pretty good. Again, just I think the start of the race is just trying to avoid a little bit of that carnage, and it really seems to split up the Group B cars. But I think if you can avoid that, after that, it seems pretty good. So just playing in with the 2016 cars and going from there, basically just concentrating your laps and hitting your marks, and away you go, basically.
Well done. So Brad, first of all, Brad and Dylan, who would you like to thank, mate, before we move on to a P2 in class?
Everyone behind the scenes of this league. They do a lot of work in this, and I think we need to recognise what they do and thank them.
100%.
You too, mate, at Race Stars, mate. You guys do an awesome job broadcasting each week. It's really good broadcast, so thank you as well.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on now to Group B's P2 tonight, and that was Anthony and Moz. Well done, guys.
Thank you.
How was your race out there battling away? Obviously, just hearing about the speed difference between the Group A and the Group B cars, you've got to be constantly watching your mirrors, right?
Yeah, cheers, mate. Yeah, it was chaos. Lap one, first to almost last, and then, trying to get back into the rhythm. But the big issue, or the big challenge, was when you got some blue flaggers that you're trying to pass, and you can see a bunch of 2016 cars bearing down you. And yes, unfortunately, sometimes you're three wide. And personally, I think everyone managed it pretty well, considering how small the track is and how tight it is through some of the chicanes. I have to admit, it was pretty good racing overall.
For sure. Who would you like to thank, guys, for P2 in Group B?
Yeah, we would just like to thank Simworx for sponsoring and that. Greg and Julie Holmes for everything they do as well behind the homes, behind the scenes and all that, and then all the admin boys and Moz especially. So it was a good night.
Anyone you want to add to that, Moz?
No, I think Ant's covered it. The only one's left off is you, Luke, a legend, Race Stars TV. Good
Thanks,
work
mate.
again.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, no, it was good racing tonight, and obviously Sandown, it keeps delivering. It's one of my favourite new tracks they've added, not just because it's an Aussie track. I think It's just a good track for overtaking and good clean racing. So well done to everyone that was involved tonight. Thanks to our Group B drivers as well. I know you don't get as much airtime as the Group A guys, but you're still out there fighting away. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, cheers. That's it for tonight. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, here on Restars TV for the Roadster Rumble. Round number 5 is run and done. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you in a week or so's time. Although tomorrow night I do have the final round of the Australian Sports Sedan E-Series, so that'll be live from Winton tomorrow night before we then come back with the production on Wednesday night. V8 Veterans on Thursday, and a couple of nights off while I'm away interstate again, back with V8 Veterans Split 2 on Sunday. Until next time, take care guys. Good night.